Kids in general are inquisitive. They're very open-minded. They're like sponges, wanting to learn lots of things. And my kids are no different. They are completely uninhibited communicators. And a lot of what I base my ideas on for the future museums is about sort of their inquisitiveness and open-mindedness. They are completely comfortable with the technological world, whether it's iPods or Wii's or cell phones. But they also enjoy being outside and goofing around like kids without all those pieces of technology. And I think that's an important thing for museums to remember, that although there's so much in technology out there for us to incorporate, real life doesn't always involve that piece. So although they're savvy to the world around them, I had them sit down and think about, in very basic terms, what the museums of the future might look like. And the first word that came to mind for my 10-year-old was the word participation. He was very adamant that in order to be interested in museums in the future, his generation is going to want to play a part in both the development of programs, exhibits, and anything else that might be part of a museum visit. And when I say participation, I think it leads to a couple other points. One is for museums to not forget the voice of the children as we're developing and in our offices thinking of programs and things that are of interest to the audiences we serve. I think we need to listen more to the kids out there of all ages, of all communities. The kids have a lot to say. They're completely honest, and they will say anything that comes to mind. And a lot of the evaluations that I've completed as a museum professional, I've found more successful when I've actually talked to kids rather than talked to adults. The piece about participation that my 10-year-old mentioned, I think, is not only about personal involvement, but also about the dialogue that museums have with what we have and what we do. I don't think that it's going to be about curators giving us their idea of what is important and what stories we should be sharing. I think it's more about what the world thinks about what we have and how well we're communicating about that, and how much we allow people to participate in the messages that we're willing to share. I think curators will have a role facilitating that experience, but I'm not sure the traditional role of the curator is going to remain what it's been. And I'll give you an example. I think that my 10-year-old last year when he was in 4th grade was asked to write a blog about a book that he had just read. And he rose to the occasion. He loved the idea of sharing his thoughts with others, and he wanted others to contribute to that as well and begin a dialogue talking about the book and their opinions about it. So it was a dialogue that is multidimensional, goes in a lot of different directions, different people can add to it. And it really just opened up a whole new platform of information. And I think museums really need to think about how to do that and be really strong at that rather than have a one-way message. Our technology is all about communication these days. Instant messaging, texting. We all know that people want to and are able to stay connected with each other this way. And I think museums are perfect platforms for us to use for communication. I think we're becoming more engaged with our communities. I think that needs to go many steps further, and we need to, again, participate in a dialogue that's going to be much broader than just museum staff putting things out for visitors to look at. I think the experience needs to go much further than that.